Hi, Mario.
Hello.
So
They
they found
found
her.
her
Amazing. I didn't think that would happen.
and they showed a photo just now bringing her home. There were a lot of people
Oh, where
outside.
where was it on the?
I don't know. Anna got it from whom, I don't know,
Oh,
but
maybe I saw this.
she looked like she was smiling, but she didn't know what was going on, probably.
Probably, yeah. She has no idea. Wow. I'm telling you, it's really something.
Mm-hmm.
She probably doesn't even remember how she got there. I mean,
And
too
she was
bad.
far.
Far, yeah, Huntington Park. It's like a Mexican area. Where
Mm-hmm.
did she eat? Where did she sleep? Who knows? Wow. Crazy.
No, but she was in a hospital
Yeah, but they put her in the hospital. They found her in a hospital. Is that where it was? She was in the. Oh, wow.
as Jane Doe.
Ah, okay, okay.
So some good Samaritan saw
Yeah,
her
took
and
her.
took
Yeah, yeah. Because she's Jewish, they say she has dough. Is that what
it.
happened? Telling you, it's really a miracle. Wow. Hi, Walter.
Hi, how are you, Harold?
We were talking about Jeannie Litvin. Crazy.
Amazing, no? Amazing,
Yeah,
amazing.
really amazing. Yeah.
A miracle, man. You know how they found her?
No, they said she was in the hospital.
No,
Somebody.
that's where I think they took her to the hospital. But she was down there. I don't know where how far she was. She must have been very far.
No, because they said the hospital had her under the name Jane Doe.
Oh,
She was
okay.
admitted as Jane Doe, so someone took her to the hospital.
Right. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Anyway, it's just nice to hear it.
Yep.
And that's everybody got together. That's it. But how did they find her? With what? Just the.
I
I'm sure
doesn't
we'll have
say.
tomorrow some details. I didn't see any details. Wow. You know, Mrs. Deutsch, Beverly's mother, the way she
When she
died, she
was.
was going for a walk early in the morning, no
Yeah.
ID, and a truck, the side of the mirror, hit her. They took her to the hospital, and no one knew who she was. She had no ID on her. It's like very important to carry your ID.
On Shabbat, especially, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
You need to
Who
carry
knows?
it. I mean, that's how Bernie was saved. He had a bracelet.
Ah, it
Yeah,
said Tammy D on it. Is that why?
yeah. It was a gold encrusted with diamonds. I figure it must be important.
Must be Tammy Minder's husband.
Yeah, yeah,
Ay, ay, ay. Okay, Ernie, where are you?
yeah. Oh, see,
There we are.
you talk and that we get answered.
Huh. Ernie.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. We're on Kuf Aleph 101.
What time are we learning tomorrow?
6
Six
o'clock.
or five or six. Okay.
6 o'clock at Shul.
All right.
Ubamum heche ikri tome. Where do we see, because we've learned that about an animal that's alive, that's a balmum that can become redeemed, the Torah refers to it as a tome, the Tanya. V'im kol behemat tmeya, asher lo yakrivu mena korban Hashem. If you have a behemoth that's tmeya that can't be offered, the balimumin sheniftin hakos medaber. This what is called a behemoth tmeya refers to an animal that has a mum. Maybe it means a non-kosher animal, like a camel or a donkey. If you're going to redeem a non-kosher animal, it already talks about a non-kosher animal. We're on Kuf Aleph, Abe, near the top. Mani Makayim Kol Beid Matmeya, but Bali Mumin, Sheniftin HaKos Medaber. It's talking about an animal that gets a mum that you can redeem it. Now, a mum has to be a permanent mum. Maybe I would think that you could redeem an animal, hegdish animal, even on a passing mum. We're talking about an animal that could never now be offered because it's got a permanent mum. An animal with a passing mum cannot be offered today, but tomorrow can be offered. Shmuel said that Menachos and Nesachim that certainly become, if they became Tomei before they were Magdish in a Klishares, you can redeem them. He also said that you could redeem them even when they're not Tomei. Moisev Ravuna Bar Manoyach. At that, Ravuna asks a kasha. Ha'oifes va'etzim v'alvona Klishares. Birds, wood, spice, and a Klishares. Ein lahen pidyon. There's no pidyon by them. Shelo nemar pidyon ela b'behema. Redemption is only by an animal. Now, Bishmo, if it's Kedushas HaGuf Ninu. Bird korbanos have Kedushas HaGuf. They're placed on the Mizbeach. Once you say this bird is an oila, it has Kedushas HaGuf. Below Nemer ela b'behema. Redemption was only taught by an animal, not by a bird. Wood, spice, and klishares, lifriku. They only have kedushas damim. They don't have kedushas aguf. And if you can redeem these things even when they're tohor, just redeem them. Why do you say you can't redeem them? Elalav, mishum de tohar ba'almain, if they're not like Shmuel. Things that are Torah cannot be redeemed. Haninami. Afagav denitmu. These items like a klishares or wood or levona, even if they become tomei, kitoharim domo. They are treated as if they're Torah and they can't be redeemed. Why? Why are they treated as Torah? The eitzim levona lav bnei oichlaninu. Food can become tummy, but wood and levon are not considered food. There is a concept, though, the fact that they are hegdish, it's considered food in order to become tummy. The eitzim kama de lo mashpulo l'gzurin, as long as the wood hasn't been cut into the logs that are placed on the mizbeach, lo miskashri. They don't have chibas hakodesh, therefore they're not considered oichel, and they cannot become tummy. Levonanami kamed lo kitcha b'klishares. The spice, if it hasn't been sanctified by klishares, doesn't have chibas hakodesh, lo miskashra. A klishares nami hoil vein lu tar b'mikvah. They also are considered Torah because at any time, if that kli becomes tummy, you can put them in a mikvah and they can become tohor. So they're viewed as tohor no matter what. So it's a kash on Shmuel. Gemara says lo. You can redeem things that have kedushas tummy, even they are tohor. These things cannot. The eitzim, the levona, and the klisharis, hani mishum lo shchichihu. Chachamim did not require this or say that they can be redeemed because they're not common, so you can't replace them, and therefore we left them the way they are. Well, bishma levona klisharis lo shchichi. I understand klisharis spice are certainly not common. Ela eitzim mishkach shchichi. Wood is very common. So the Gemara says it's not. Wood that is fit for the mizbeach, eitzim nami kiven damar kolech nimtzabot tolas posel gabi mizbeach. If wood had worms on it, it's not kosher. Hilkach lo shchichi. It also would be not Shchiach. Amr Papa. Ishmile l'Shmuel hadatanya. If Shmuel had heard from what was learned, Hamatvis Tmimim Berek Abayis. If somebody was Magdish, an unblemished animal, for temple upkeep. Now, you can donate something for Berek Abayis, or you can donate something for the Mizbeach. If you have an unblemished animal that's given to Berek Abayis, what does the temple do? They sell it to someone who needs to bring a korban. They use that money for temple upkeep, and the person takes the animal and offers it. So, Hamatvis Tmimim Berek Abayis in Pornos on Elam Mizbeach. They can only be sold to somebody who's paying money to buy a korban to bring on the Mizbeach. Shekol haroy leMizbeach, anything that's fit for the altar, any yotze midei Mizbeach loylo, cannot be removed from that. V'afal gav the kedushas damim nida. Even though at this moment, this unblemished animal doesn't have kedushas haguf, physical kedusha, it only has kedushas damim. And we see ein niftin hoyel utaharim, they're not redeemed because they're torn, fit for the altar. And remember, Shmuel was one who said that Menachos and Nesachim, even if they're torn, could be redeemed. So the Gemara says, "Have other bay." If Shmuel would have heard this halacha, he would have retracted what he said. However, lohi, you're not correct. Shmuel heard this, and he specifically lo other bay didn't go back. Lavran Amid Hasan. Regarding Shmuel, why did they say that why Eitzim and Lavona cannot be redeemed? Even to lo shchichi, lo mifriki. There was a reason, because they're not shchiach. Hachanami. Kiva the shchichi movement the possible behem. It's very common that we have animals that are nifsal because they have a mum. That filu bedukin shmai nami pasi. Even with just a cataract, you can disqualify. Hilkach lo shchichi. To find animals completely unblemished is also not shchichi. So there's a special reason why you can't redeem them. Now, in contrast to Shmuel, who said the Menachos and the Nesachim that are Tohor can be redeemed, we have an opposing shita. Rav Kahana Amar, Tmei Niftin, a mincha and nesachim that become tamei can be redeemed. However, toharin ein niftin. If they're tohor, you can't redeem them. B'chein amar b'shaya, tmei ein niftin, toharin ein niftin. Ikedi amri, amar Rav Shai, filu toharin niftin. Others say that Rav Shai said that if, like Shmuel, that if the mincha or the nesachim are tohor, you can still redeem them. There's another opinion. Rabbi Lazar Oimer. Kulon tmei niftin, toharin ein niftin. The general rule is these korbanos or hegdish things, if they're tamei, they can be redeemed. If they're tor, they can't. Chutz ma'asiris haifa shel minchas chotei. The flower of the sinner's mincha, who has the choice to bring an animal or birds or a mincha. Sharei omer tor mechataso al chataso. So these could be redeemed if they were told. Amr B'Shaya, Shamati, Pigul b'mincha, l'Rab Shimon ena metame tuma soichlin. We said that things that have chibas hakodesh are considered oichel, and therefore can become nit tome. If someone had a machshavas pigul by a mincha, according to Rab Shimon, it cannot become invalidated through tumah. Why not? It's not. Ha'orla, fruits from a tree for the first 3 years. Klaya kerem, mixture of vines and wheat. Shora niskal, a shore that gored 3 times is killed. Egla rufa, the decapitated calf that is done to determine which city has a murderer. Tzipora mitzora, the birds that are used for the tahara process of a mitzora. Petr chamor, the donkey that is redeemed. Basar b'chalov, that is, meat and milk were cooked. Kulan metamin tumas oichlin. Even though they're asr bana, the Tanakama holds it's considered food. They're edible. So therefore, even though they're asr bana, they can receive tumah. However, Reb Shimon Omer kulan ein metamin tumas oichlin. This food cannot be fed anybody. And therefore, it's not oichel. And therefore, they cannot be contaminated with tumah. Chutz, umoid Reb Shimon basar b'cholov, shemetami tumas oichlin. Hoil v'hais lo shasa kosher. Basar b'cholov becomes aser midoraisa when you cook meat and milk together. Lo sevashel gedi b'chalevimo. If you just mix milk and meat together, midoraisa it's not aser. Midrabanan it's aser, but midoraisa it's permitted. Therefore, it's considered before you cook it that it had a period of time it was kosher, and therefore it would be matami tumas oichlin. Amar Rav Asim Rav Yechli my time in Reb Shimon regarding tumah, it says mikola oichel asher yeyachel. What kind of food can become tamei? That which can be eaten. Oichel shatei yochel achil acherem kori oichel. Food that you can feed other people is called oichel. Oichel sheyetei yochel achil acherem ena kori oichel. Since you can't even feed a non-Jew because you're getting hana from it. Is not mekabel tum. Ha pigel b'mincha nami. Pigel, mincha that became pigel. Oichel sheyetei yochel achil acherem. It's aser. You can't feed it to anybody. 1 second. I already disrupted my Daf Yomi. Ihochi basar b'cholav nami tebuk le de oichel shatei yochel achil achemu. Well, basar b'cholav also is another reason why you could say it's makabel truma. The Tanya, Rab Shimon Yerabim Mishum Rab Shimon basar b'cholav basar b'achilu muter bana. There is an opinion, according to one of the Tanoim, that you can benefit from it. Shenemar kiyam kadosh atal Hashem lokecha lo svashel gedi b'chalevimo. You are a holy nation. Don't cook a goat in its mother's milk. Ulahala noemer v'anshe kodesh tiyun li uvasar basadet treifa lo sochelu. And a treifa cannot be eaten. However, there we know a treifa can be thrown to the dogs. Mala halam by a treifa. Asr b'achila muter bana. Because it says like kelev tashlichun oso. Afkan asr b'achila muter bana. So this Rab Shimon ben Yehuda holds, in the name of Rab Shimon, that even basar b'chalav, when it's cooked, you can benefit from it, so you can feed it. So why do you have to come up with the reason, oh, it had a shasa kosher? So the Gemara says, chadav od kamar, ena chanami, didn't need it. You have one reason, you have another reason. Chadav doichel shatei achol achil achemu. It's oichel because you can feed other people, because Reb Shimon holds that it's mutter bano. We don't paskin like Reb Shimon.
Mardo Ricky sent a photo to Winstar Tech with a cell phone screen.
We paskin like the Chachamim that basar b'chol that is cooked is aser bano. And l'didei nami haisalosh asa kosher. It also was fit because it could be fed. Now, Rav Oshaya said that a mincha that is pigul, you can't feed anybody, so it doesn't become tummy. Meisvei. Reb Shimon Omer. Yesh noiser shumatami tumas oichlin, v'yesh noiser shenem matami tumas oichlin. Noiser is hegdish that's left overnight. Some noiser can become tummy, some can't. Ketsa. Lon lifnei zrika. They shechted an animal, and they never did the zrika sadam. And then the morning came, and it's already nifsal belina without zrika. Now, once you do zrika, it becomes, you can eat it, unless it's an ola, which is not eaten. But even there, the mizbeach can eat it. So it never was food. Now, if it's lon la'achar zrika, right, you threw the blood. At that point, you could have eaten it. But then it sat till the next morning. So that is metame tumasachlu. But then says the Baraisa, upigul, bein the kotche baby kotche kalim, whether it's chatas asham and ola, or whether it's other shlomim, b'chor, meiser, pesach, which is kotche kalim, ein metame tumasachlu. It is not considered food, and it does not receive tumah. Because it's pigul. Once it's pigul, nobody can eat it. It's asr rachil asr bano. However, pigul b'mincha metame tumas oichlin. This goes against what Rosh Hashanah said, that if you're pigul b'mincha, it does not convey tumah. So, for example, before the mincha was put into a klishares, and it was just grain, you could eat it. So that's why this mandomer holds it's metame tumas oichlin, loy kasha. So Rabbi Shaya and the Baraisa will reconcile themselves by saying kan shais lo shasa kosher. The Baraisa that says that it's metame tumas oichlin because there was a period of time before you harvested when it was just grain, that it could be food. But Rabbi Shai is talking about after you were miskadish b'kli shoris, kan shlois lo shasa kosher, and it became pigul at that point. Or the Gemara will give us the case. Heichi dami delois lo shasa kosher. What do you mean it was a mincha that never had a period of time of permission? Oh, takdishinu b'mechuber. The grain was still in the ground, and you were magdish that wheat for a mincha. And therefore, it's not food if it's still connected to the ground. It only becomes food if you harvest it. For the Gemara v'lifra kinu, but why not redeem it even before it's put in a klisharis? So it had a shasa kosher because it could have been eaten by somebody, right? You pay an extra 20% and you redeem it. It's not a problem according to the Mandomer that held you can't redeem something that's tohar. So shapir, then you can't redeem it, and therefore you don't have that kasha. So we can redeem it when it's tohar. It can then be eaten by a regular person. It had a shasa kosher, and then you don't have a case shasa kosher. So the Gemara says practically hashtami lo porik chanami. Right now, no one redeemed it, so no one was permitted to eat it. Just the fact that you have the potential to redeem it doesn't make it oicha, according to Rabbi Shea, and therefore it is not metame tumas oichlin. However, kiven the iboy parikle, you just said that he could have redeemed it, and Shamina Rabbi Shimon Domer kolo oimid liftos kapodit. Something that potentially could be redeemed is viewed as redeemed. So we should view this grain, since you had the ability to do it, as redeemed, and therefore somebody could have eaten it, and therefore it had a shasa kosher. Britani, Rabbi Shimon Oimer, para metame tumas oichlin. Para duma that was shechted. is considered food, and it's metame tumasarchel. Hoil vayse lo shasa kosher. It could have been eaten at one point. V'amar shlokish omer Reb Shimon par niftis lagabi marahasa. Paraduma doesn't have kedushas aguf. It's not a korban. It has kedushas domim. And even after you shecht it and you're burning it, or it's waiting to be burned, it can be redeemed. So it has a shasa kosher. And therefore, that's why he says it has metamet tumasochlin. Well, the mincha also had a shasa kosher based on the potential ability we said you could redeem it. The Gemara now, though, says, Hachi Asher, we can't compare the paraduma to the mincha. Bishlama para oimedes liftois he. Shimotza acheres noim and a mitzvah lefadoisa. You're always looking for a nicer paraduma. And therefore, it's not only, it's incumbent upon you to redeem it, because you have a nicer one. Ella hanim noch, it's mitzvah lefadoisa. You have a mincha, it's a kosher mincha. There's no mitzvah to redeem that. So there you can't say this concept of, since it has the potential to be redeemed, we view it as being redeemed. Now, Rav Shimon, then we've developed this concept that if there's the potential to be redeemed, we view it as if it's redeemed, and therefore it's considered like oichel. The halon b'lifnei zrika, you shechted an animal. You didn't do the zrika sadah, and you left it over to the next morning. There was a mitzvah, the mitzvah mizrukei. There is a mitzvah to do the zrika. The boy zorak, and he had the ability to do the zrika. Uktani dein metametu mesoichlin. So you, Reb Shimon, who says if you have the ability in your hands to do the mitzvah, and there's a mitzvah to do it, it's viewed as if it was done, like the paraduma. Since there's a mitzvah to redeem it, because you could find a nicer one, here also the animal was, the blood was ready to be thrown. So it should be viewed as if it's considered food, and it should be metame. How come Rab Shimon said, "Ein metame to mesoichlin"? There was no potential to do the zrika. It was shechted a second before shkia, and now there's no time to do the zrika. Okay, but if you had enough time, you're going to say metame to mesoichlin? If that's the case, why did you tell me that the machloikas was between lon lifnei zrika, lon lachar zrika? The tani lon lachar zrika, metame to mesoichlin liflog b'dida. You could have made a simpler argument. Bamet varmemorim. When do we say that it's not have a status of voichel shlois lashos bayom? There wasn't enough time. Aval ais lashos bayom metame to mesoichlin, because it has the potential to do the zrika, therefore it's considered oichel, therefore it can accept tumah. So, en chanami kamar. Lan koidim she'ero lizrika. If there was noiser, if it became noiser and it was impossible because we didn't have enough time to do the zrika, then ein metamet b'zoichlin. La'achar she'ero lizrika. But if you had time to do it, then metame to mesoichlin. Okay, and we're going to ask another kasha from Pigel, but we'll save that for tomorrow. Okay, good Shabbos, everybody. And
Shabbos.
tomorrow will be 6 o'clock.
Yeah, good Shabbos.
And then Sunday, the daf will be 7, and the Ezra Sefer Ezra will be 8.
And Shabbos.